Hello, and welcome back to Michael Reads. I'm Michael, and welcome to the channel. I'm just setting everything up. Please, if you could, let me know if there's any sound issues, because there were a few sound issues on the last live stream, and I hope I have rectified them, and everything should be nice and well. And yeah, so I'm just currently finishing my setup, making sure that everything is working well and everything will go well on this live session. And today we are continuing Seneca's on the shortness of life, um, using the King Solomon translation with chapters 15 and 16. And before we begin, if you could please tap like if you enjoy reading the classics together. Follow me on Mr. Michael Reads for the next chapters, and any other books that come afterwards. And share this live stream with someone who is always saying they need more time. And let me know in the comment section, please, when you finally do have time to yourself, do you feel peaceful, or do you find yourself immediately looking for something to fill it? So tonight's chapters ask a deceptively simple question: is having free time the same thing as living freely? What are your thoughts? Just have a quick drink. I've got a bit of a dry throat due to having a rich lunch. So to put everything into context, Seneca, the author, this wider argument is that life is not necessarily short. Instead, much of it is lost. We lose it to ambition, we lose it to worry, we lose it to distraction, to public expectations. That's a big one. And postponing life until some future moment. So, in these two chapters, which we will cover today, he goes further. He asks whether people who seem to have escaped the pressure of ordinary life have actually gained anything meaningful. So, with that brief introduction, I will go into chapter 10. Oh, no, sorry. What am I talking about? Chapter 15, on the shortness of life. And if you are new here, if you're joining us here for the first time, we are on chapter 15 now. Chapters 1 to 14 are all in a playlist on this channel. And this is, if I am correct, the fifth book that we have covered. So you can always look at the back catalogue of lives that I've done, and you can catch up, or, just explore everything that we've done. And it's only just recently I started doing these lives on mobile. So everything is kind of new and different to me. So please let me know your thoughts. Please share your experiences with me and let me know what you think, and everything else, because I'm just trying to do the best that I can with the resources that I do have. So welcome to everyone who's joining on this channel. So here we go. We're going to do a read of chapter 15. None of these men will force you to die, but all of them will teach you how to die. None of these will waste your time, but will add his own to it. The talk of these men is not dangerous. Their friendship will not lead you to the scaffold. Their society will not ruin you into expenses. You may take from them whatsoever you will. They will not prevent your taking the deepest draughts of their wisdom that you please. What blessedness, what a fair old age awaits the man who takes these for his patrons. He will have friends, with whom he may discuss all matters, great and small, whose advice he may ask daily about himself, from whom he will hear truth without insult, praise without flattery, and according to these likeness he may model his own character. We are wont to say that we are not able to choose who our parents should be, but that they were assigned to us by chance. Yet we may be born just as we please. There are several families of the noblest intellects. Choose which you would like to belong to. By your adoption, you will not receive their name only, but also their property, which is not intended to be guarded in a mean and miserly spirit. The more persons you divide it among, the larger it becomes. These will open to you the path which leads to eternity, and will raise you to a height from whence none shall cast you down. By this means alone you prolong your mortal life, nay, even turn it into an immortal one. High office monuments and all that ambition records in decrees or piles up in stone soon passes away. Lapses of time casts down and ruins everything. But those things on which philosophy has set its seal are beyond the reach of injury. No age will discard them or lessen their force. Each succeeding century will add somewhat to the respect in which they are held. For we look upon what is near us with jealous eyes, but we admire what is further off with less prejudice. The wise man's life, therefore, includes much. He is not hedged in by the same limits which confine others. He alone is exempt from the laws by which mankind is governed. All ages serve him like a god. If any time be past, he recalls it by his memory. If it be present, he uses it. If it be future, he anticipates it. His life is a long one because he concentrates all times into it. Hello, Singh. How are you? Yes, we have just gone through chapter 15 on the book on the shortness of life. Yeah, if you are unsure what the book is about, it's about time and time management, and how our time on earth is short, and how much of it the author is always going on about how much of our time we spend on ourselves rather than trying to please other people. So we have just read chapter 15. Sing, if you want to keep up, do have a look at the playlist where we covered chapters 1 all the way through to chapter 14. And of course, we've just done chapter 15, and today on the session we will be doing chapter 16 as well. So in chapter 15, Seneca, the author, challenges the assumption that retirement, withdrawal, comfort, or isolation automatically amount to a good life. He considers people who appear to have stepped away from public duty. They may be wealthy, protected from hardship, and seemingly free to do whatever they wish, yet the author questions whether they are genuinely free. If they are still led by their appetites, their worries, their habits, or need for distraction, then they may have left one form of business only to enter into another. Oh, Sing, I'm in the UK. So, yeah, where are you from? Please comment below. And thank you so much for joining us on here. So, of all of you viewing this, whether you're viewing it live as I make this or when you watch the rerun, okay, has anyone here ever reached a point where they finally had a day off, a holiday, or a quiet evening, and then felt strangely restless? Please tell me what you usually do with unstructured time. So, um, Seneca's example of vacia or a vacation is particularly important. He is not simply saying that everyone must stay politically active or publicly successful. Rather, he warns against confusing withdrawal with wisdom. A person can be alone without being reflective. They can be inactive without being at peace. They can live comfortably without uh, living deliberately. Yeah. Um. So yes. Singh. Hello from India. I have, just to sort of deviate from the current, our next book, which we will be covering, I have already made this decision, will be this uh, Autobiography of a Yogi. Uh, excuse me with the pronunciation, by Paramahansa Yogananda. That's the book that I will be doing next. Once we have completed on the shortness of life, this is going to be great. So that's an early introduction. So if you'd like to know more about it, please subscribe to the channel and let more people know that we will be covering this book. So chapter 15, it invites us to distinguish between rest and escape. Rest helps us return to ourselves. Escape keeps us from facing ourselves. So, if false leisure is merely avoiding life, what does real leisure look like to Seneca? Chapter 16 gives the answer. For him, true leisure is not empty time. It is time given to philosophy, to learning, to reflection, and becoming less ruled by external pressures. So, with that little brief context, I will move into chapter 16. So, if you do have a copy of the book, uh, chapter 16, I will start um, posting where I acquire these books from. So yeah, hopefully when I do make an announcement as to what I will be doing next, you could yourself acquire a copy of the book, just so that we can read it all together. And thank you so much, Singh, for all your input and for subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate that. Here we are. Chapter 16. Those men lead the shortest and unhappiest lives who forget the past, neglect the present, and dread the future. When they reach the end of it, the poor wretches learn too late that they were busied all the while that they were doing nothing. You need not think, because sometimes they call for death, that their lives are long. Their folly torments them with vague passions, which lead them into the very things of which they are afraid. They often, therefore, wish for death because they live in fear. Neither is it, as you might think, a proof of the length of their lives that they often find the days long, that they often complain how slowly the hours pass until the appointed time arrives for dinner. For whenever they are left without their usual business, they fret helplessly in their idleness and know not how to arrange or to spin it out. They betake themselves, therefore, to some business, and all the intervening time is irksome to some. They would wish, by Hercules, to skip over it, just as they wish to skip over the intervening days before the gladiatorial contest or some other time appointed for a public spectacle or private indulgence. All postponement of what they wish for is grievous to them. Yet the very time which they enjoy is brief and soon past. and is made much briefer by their own fault. For they run from one pleasure to another and are not able to devote themselves consistently to one passion. Their days are not long, but odious to them. On the other hand, how short they find the nights which they spend with courtesans over wine. Hence arises that folly of which the poets who encourage the errors of mankind by their myths and declare that Jupiter, to gratify his voluptuous desires, doubled the length of the night. Is it not adding fuel to our vices to name the gods as their authors and to offer our distempters free scope by giving them deity for an example? How can the nights for which men pay so dear fail to appear of the shortest? They lose the day in looking forward to the night and lose the night through fear of the dawn. Wow, that was a uh, that was a brief chapter, but Seneca's claim is bold here. He presents the philosophically minded person as one who is truly at leisure. Yeah. We should not reduce that to only scholars uh, live well. I mean, Singh, thank you so much. And yeah, well, look, I will mention this before I continue. I started this channel because I wanted to make reading a habit. So I am in no way a very good reader. I am learning as well. So if you listen or if you watch any of my other videos, I do make a lot of mistakes, and yeah, yeah, I am trying my best to be good. But thank you so much. But with regards to going outside, my children are outside and they're totally separate from this YouTube live, so I do not want to disturb them from what they're doing. But yes, thank you. So going back to chapter 16. Seneca believes a person begins to possess their life when they take time to examine it, when they learn from wisdom, question their desires, reflect on mortality, and stop allowing society's demands to define every moment. So, one of the most moving ideas in this chapter is that reading allows us to enter into conversation with the past. Through books, Seneca says we can spend time with great minds from other eras, which is true. We can learn from their successes, we can learn from their errors and their understanding of life. So that is a lovely thought for this community. You know, reading is not simply an escape from the world. At its best, it expands our relationship with it. Do you agree? Please let me know in the comment section. So, if you spend an evening with any writer, any philosopher, any artist, or historical figure, who would it be and what would you ask them? Let me know, please. Let's start a discussion, and let's draw more people into the discussions, because we all have different thoughts, different opinions of things. So, taken together, chapters 15 and 16 make a distinction that still feels very current. There's a difference between having time available and having a life that feels like your own. So, chapter 15 is a warning. Seneca sees that people can leave demanding jobs, public roles, or busy schedules and still remain inwardly unsettled. They may spend their time consuming entertainment, pursuing comfort, seeking approval, or avoiding difficult questions. In that sense, their leisure is not freedom, it is simply another way of being controlled. So, chapter 16 is Seneca's positive alternative. He argues that philosophy allows a person to reclaim time because it teaches them how to attend to life. So, philosophy for the author is not an abstract subject alone. It is a practice of living, examining values, facing mortality, learning from the past, and making one's mind less dependent on chance, status, and public opinion. So, if you think about it, there's a great insight in that. Modern life offers constant stimulation, but stimulation is not the same as meaning. So the author sees that distraction can follow us even into our free time. He asks us not just whether we are busy, but whether our busyness and our rest serve anything worthwhile. So, still, we should read him critically as well as appreciatively. His statement that only philosophers are true at leisure is too absolute. People can find depth, wisdom, and presence through family life, faith, friendship, caring for others, creativity, physical labor, community, and ordinary rest. We should also remember that Seneca wrote as a privileged Roman man with access to education. He had access to books, wealth, and a degree of control over his time that many people did not have. So today, many people face so many economic pressures, caregiving responsibilities, poor health, discrimination, or demanding work conditions. Yet, not everyone can simply choose more leisure or more study. So, perhaps the fairest way to apply these chapters is not to judge people or to judge ourselves for being very busy. It is to ask, within the limits of our real lives, is there any part of our time we can protect for reflection, for learning, for quiet time? Quiet time is very important. Quiet time is like a time to meditate or just time for meaningful kind of connection. Yeah. So Seneca's challenge is not that every minute must be productive. It is that we should not allow every minute to be claimed by forces that leave us feeling absent from our own lives. So, in closing, tonight, Seneca leaves us with a question worth carrying into the last few days of the week. When I am free, do I become more present? Or do I simply find a new way to avoid myself? So, thanks for reading chapters 15 and 16 with me. And if this live stream gave you something to think about, please tap like or follow me, Michael Reeds. Share this with a fellow reader and leave one takeaway in the comments. I thank you, Singh. He's very active on here. I really appreciate you. And before you go, please let me know what is one small moment that is a small moment this week that you can reclaim. Not to do more, but to live more deliberately. So, I will catch you um, on my next live stream, which will be next Tuesday, where we will be covering chapters 17 and 18. And on the Thursday, we will do 19 and 20. But I hope to start making being more active on my channel by introducing shorts, which I hope to trial this weekend. So please look out for those, and please let me know any feedback if you do have any once I have posted the first series of shorts. But yes, thank you, and I'm blown away. I've got people watching the live from India. So please let me know where you are watching from. I'd really like to know. I'd really like to be able to share all the greatness out of these books with people from all around the world. So thank you so much. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and have a good weekend ahead. Take care. From me, Michael. This is Michael Reed. Tada. Bye bye.